talk about the observations on women in law, about different places in the world. And I'm qualified in 3 jurisdictions and have participated in various law society activities and committees as well. And in my spare time, I learn and sing opera. So my speech would be about the abstract, in that despite the increasing portion of female law students, the number of female partners do not increase a lot. And that's supported by statistical research by McKinsey. And I will explore in the paper and the corresponding presentation today how we can help to solve the problem together as a coordinated effort. So my presentation will be played soon. Hello everybody, this is Amelia, and I'm very honored to be able to talk about women in law. So according to statistics by McKinsey, for every 100 women promoted to be partner, there's 141 men. So we know that the gender imbalance is quite a serious problem. Indeed, first let us look at the current situation across jurisdictions. If we look at Hong Kong, you can see that for the trainees, there are 60% which are women, but only 28% which end up at the senior positions. This also applies to barristers as well. There's similarly a very high percentage of women, however. Only 30%, which is less than half, are women. And for senior counsel, which are regarded as most prestigious in the profession for barristers, only 11% are women. So indeed, this is a problem which is of growing concern. And while businesses are becoming more aware of this problem, reportedly, there's only marginal progression. Indeed, as we know, in the law schools in Hong Kong, about 70% of those now entering are women. And given that, though they work very hard and endure long hours of stress and work and challenges, it is very unfortunate that only so few of them make to the highest and to the elitist positions. So what are the reasons for this, and more importantly, what can we do to help them? We will explore these things later. So let's look further on to the birthplace of the common law in the United Kingdom, where the Magna Carta was discovered in the era of King John. And you can see that the problem is similarly quite serious in the United Kingdom. And the problem is so serious such that a partner at a top London firm, which we will not name here, he has rejected his inclusion in the Chambers and Partners ranking. And that ranking, as we know, is the most prestigious rankings in the UK, one of the most prestigious rankings. And being named there recognizes one's achievements as a practitioner. And he has rejected his naming on that in order to show his staunch support for the growing problem of concern. He states that there should be more women that is recognized rather than men, which are more often the majority in these kind of reports. So it shows that they're very concerned about this problem, which is a good thing. How about the United States? So in the United States, it's quite a similar problem with Hong Kong, or phenomena, as you may put it. In the first place, there is almost half of the law graduates that are women. In the United States, you know that for them it is slightly different, in that you first go through the 4 years of a liberal arts college, usually, and then you consider law as the second degree. So women are similarly interested in becoming lawyers, so with half the population. However, for the partners, there seems to be a glass ceiling in the number of women partners in particular, compared to 77.3% of men. So let's look in the European situation. So there are more women graduates than men in all the EU member states. And although women are half of all the lawyers in France, statistics show that a French woman has never served as a permanent judge on several international courts. And this includes the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court, and the European Court of Justice. So what does it mean, and why there is such a cross-border lack of women in the leadership positions? In Canada, there is a similar phenomenon, and this time we look more closely at the payment rather than the position. And for Canada, there's 8% of women which are in-house counsel, and you can see that across the same salary bracket, more men earn more than women. And this applies to in-house counsels in the study. So secondly, let's look at the current career paths for women in the law. And I should go over them briefly, each in turn. And we can then explore the options and the specific problems and concerns of each of this career type. So I think the most common, which we most widely know, is the private practice. And that's across the different jurisdictions in which a lawyer, depending on his or her practice area, does the practice area's work. And the second one is in-house. In-house being the in-house legal team of a solicitor's, not a solicitor in particular, but you're in an in-house department. And when you're in the in-house department, you actually do the legal work of the whole company. And the work can range from contract reviewing to the AML, KYC work, compliance work, or when sometimes the company has some mergers and acquisitions, you may need to look at the deal transactions yourself. Or if the company decides to go public, you will have to do with the IPO and related work. Another work is the legal services, which is like legal recruiters. So helping lawyers find their jobs in in-house and private practice. The role of the law firm and administrator, in which you manage the law firm, or as a human resource manager. The mediator, academia as a professor, working in the government, the Department of Justice, and the judiciary as a judge or magistrate. So the specific problems facing women in law include the following three ones. One is the harassment risks. There are some fears of upsetting the hierarchy, which is a possible cause, and lack of assertive training. Second, the lack of support network. And three, there is intense stress, burnout from the many demands in family and work as well. So there are many resources regarding women globally, and includes the International Federation of Women Lawyers and different women associations in the different countries. So there are some formal ones and informal ones, and there are actually many of them. So if you want to solve the problem, we know that no man is an island, and we do need to work together to help resolve it. So how can the employers help them? Let's look at the first party that can help. The most direct one would be the employers. And there could be a zero-tolerance harassment policy, provide feeding rooms for those new mothers, internal support groups, more flexible working hours, and decrease some kind of known as office housework, a term that women are more in charge or expected to play a role in planning of the events and maybe cleaning up after the event and so forth. Organize workshops and trainings to senior and junior management, have clear metrics for salary increase and performance and bonus allocations, and have in-house mentorship programs, which you have a senior lawyer partner give advice to a junior lawyer, and to avoid fear of repercussions, or they need to maintain things confidential, and that the female young lawyers will be able to say whatever they want to say without fear of it affecting their job negatively. It is best that the person who is involved in the mentorship program is not the immediate supervisor. Secondly, the families can do a lot. And in Hong Kong, we have the availability of domestic helpers, which is an option that some professionals may regard to. And also the in-laws and spouses can reduce their demands and expectations. And three, law schools can help by having early mentorship programs by distinguished graduates, special assertive behavior classes for role plays, and networking and communicating seminars as well. So they could have better communication skills and assertive training skills, so that women lawyers, even as law students, can learn how to express their needs more clearly. And what can NGOs do about the problem? There could be increased advertising and mentorship opportunities. Indeed, we know that there are lots of women organizations available all over the world. And the problem is, many of us may not be aware of them. And when I came across in writing my paper for the conference, I have been able to research and discover that there's actually quite a long list of these kind of resources. But we may be too busy working as female lawyers to be aware of these opportunities. And there could also be more workshops on the gender differences in the workplace, and also to increase empathy and allow children and spouses to realize how hard the work of a woman is, particularly as a woman lawyer and a mother and wife. So there could be some simulation experiences and workshops in which they get to experience role play and understand how it is like to be a typical female lawyer in the home and in the office. And how can the government help this problem? So the government can provide some stress relaxation activities and sports, especially for women professionals. And they could look at the maternity leave scheme and see whether suitable adaptations can be made. There can be incentives and subsidies for these working mothers who would like to balance their career but find it difficult to do so and would like to take some time off work. There could be also some neutral third-party support services for lawyers, such as counseling services, which are confidential and with a person outside of the legal field, and these kind may work quite well. So as for women lawyers, there's much that they could help themselves. And indeed, with this awareness and with hindsight, they can teach the mentees and other female lawyers straight from law school or in the junior years of the profession the importance of planning the career and the personal life and the different milestones that they would encounter and how best they could allocate the job and the home demands so that they could plan ahead and anticipate possible problems and resolve them before they are even there. And they could also learn good communication skills and assertive skills during these workshops and practice with each other, and also change our perceptions of ourselves and those around us and believe that it is possible for women to be able to be the senior managers in the law firms and aspire to a greater goal and also work towards this greater goal. Because as Walt Disney once said, everything is possible when we have a dream. And therefore, it is very important for female lawyers to have good aspirations, to know that they could be the senior in the law firm, which is not just a dream, but a reality if they work hard enough. And also self-belief and personal development, as I mentioned. So in conclusion, we can see that towards a more fulfillment and inclusion for female lawyers that is definitely possible in the different arenas irregardless of what career they choose. And it is a joint project by the government, by the women themselves, the families, NGOs, societies, and law schools as well. And together, indeed, with our combined support and synergy, we can help empower women in the long run for law and beyond. And women can enjoy the roles of a successful practitioner together with a happy wife and a happy mother. And this kind of positiveness is good for everyone in society. So thank you very much. And here is my WeChat code if you'd like to add me in WeChat and continue the dialogue, or if you have any questions. Thank you. Hello, everybody. So that was the presentation on Observations in Women in Law, a cross-jurisdictional analysis.